this happen for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
Buddy, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And here on Modify Your Life, we talk about modifying your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Along with my co-hostess with the mostest, Modified Frankie, just posted her first consultation video. Consultation. A consultation. Hey everyone, you don't need to be intelligent to have a podcast. You just have to buy a podcast equipment.
You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to learn how to spell to be successful.
Hey, you know what someone said? You don't need to make sense to make sense. Or the good old Gary V, I'm not a speller, I'm a seller. Just saying, you know, some of the most successful people in the world are dyslexic, have ADHD, and so do I.
Honestly, I've been noticing it. Now with you, I pay attention more now.
Well, you know, also too, like Yvonne, she always says that Yvonne, she's gonna be on my podcast. We're gonna shoot a podcast this Thursday.
She doesn't even know yet.
She doesn't know yet, but she says, she's like, you know, every single time I hang out with you and I look at your finances, it makes me realize that you don't have to be smart in order to make money. I was like, wow, that's a
5 foot nothing little woman.
She's 4'11", honestly, but she helped me get
and
out of
she's
bed.
our financial consultant.
She's amazing in what she does. But yeah, so no, I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world, but I do have a story that resonates with a lot of people in the world. Mm-hmm. I do have a lot of life lessons I learned through the hard way. And my job as me going through this stuff and God putting me through this stuff is to teach you not to go through it and also guide you how to get over it. Mm-hmm. How to avoid it, but that for you, those of you who are hard-headed.
But if you didn't listen
the first time, then I'm here to help, lead you out of this stuff right here. Which leads into our topic of the day.
Yes.
What are we talking about today? You got me working. It's supposed to be in the gym right now. We got me working. So what's up? What are we talking about?
So, this is a thing that I heard you say when you've told people before, when they're like trauma dumping on you, right? And you're like, hey, turn that pain into power. And I'm just like, that's so innovative. Tell me more.
You know what's so funny?
What?
And like I'm calling myself out, right? Everyone in this industry that I'm in, right? It's all the same shit. It's just who you want to listen to, right? Because like
what messenger you like.
Now when it's all the same shit, as in like we all have our stories, right? We've all overcome. The people that have the podcast, that have the following and the impactful life story, is no different than someone that doesn't have that. Like you all have a story. We all have an underdog story, right? We've all been through some type of trauma or drama or some type of traumatic situation in our life that we've had to overcome. Mm-hmm. But the difference is the people that choose to overcome it. And there's people that are going through it and are not overcoming it. There's people that have went through it that didn't overcome it. There's people that went through it and gave up. Like, you get what I'm saying? So when you say like, oh my gosh, where did you hear that from? Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
But I know that I don't watch.
Right.
The people who I listen to don't really coach how I coach. Like, I don't coach the way Andy Frisella is. Right? I like Wes Watson stuff. A lot of people, it's controversy,
their approach
but
works for you.
For me. But like, my conversation I have with my clients, like I'm not that type of coach. I'm not that like yell in your face and stuff like that. But I am like, I'm in the between. I'm like, I'm not 100%, but I'm not 0%. I'm like at a solid 50.
I agree.
Like I get rowdy if I need to call the truth out, but I also could be.
There was a switch up recently after surgery though.
After surgery, a lot of me. Well, it just so happened that I didn't get to really cope. Oh no, sorry, cope. I didn't get to really take in how big of a badass I was going through my dad being murdered and doing the bodybuilding show soon and all the way down. I didn't really go through like, oh man, I lost myself for a second. Mm-hmm. So it kind of happened before the skin removal surgery, but everyone's noticing now that after the skin removal surgery, but like it's just me realizing that I built this.
Right.
I've done this. I've overcame this, and I do have the right to speak on stuff, and I do have the voice, and I do have the hard work behind my conversation. Yeah,
but even your approach with coaching has shifted a little, and your clients have noticed. And then I remember, was that like 2 weeks ago? Because that was right before we left back to California. You're like, hey babe, like, do you think? And it was after you were talking to a client, and I'm like, yes. Yeah. Like, and then you didn't even finish your thing. And I'm like, yeah, you're way more like cutthroat, not in a bad way, but it's just the shift. But I'm like, now everyone gets a taste of what I get every day.
Well, last year I had great transformations, but I feel that I could have did better as a coach.
Like,
and I feel like I left on the table. I went through my own personal stuff. we're humans, right? But at the end of the day, though, I also know that being a coddling coach is not the best for everybody.
So you just adjust.
So I want to adjust a little bit more, and I'm going to find my happy medium. And I have to do it. I let a lot of clients know, like, hey, I'm going to kind of bring up the volume a little bit. Let me know if I'm scaring you or if you enjoy this. Like, I'm like, you know what? I can't adapt to everyone, but I could find the happy medium.
Yeah.
You know, and being a coddling person, I think as a coach is never good. Now, a coddling coach, I feel someone just wants to take your money. Oh, you know, you gained weight, but it's probably muscle. They're lying to you. Oh, well, you lost 10 pounds in the last 10 months. And, you know, that's really, really good. You know, let's do better. It's, you know, whatever it is. No, 10 pounds in 10 months is horrible. That's 1 pound a month. Yes, it's still weight loss, but it's like,
But
how
that's
long
not what your goal is.
It's like, yeah, okay, what's your goal this year? Oh, my goal is to make $5. I can't wait. I'm going to make $5. Why do you set your bar so low?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying make 5 million if you only made 500 this year, but I'm saying like don't set the bar low. So I'm not going to accept from my clients mediocrity. You have a coach. You are already not not a mediocre person because you're paying for a coach. People don't pay for coaches. They're too expensive. They could do it on their own. They can't afford it.
What
but
do they know
fast
that I
food.
don't
What do they know
already
that I
know?
don't? Exactly. It's not what we don't that you don't know. It's what we've done that you're not willing to do.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That's just what it is. What you're paying for. And so which led me into, you know, this conversation, what you had heard and the topics we came up today, right? Is that turn that pain into power. A lot of us are going to go through or have went through a lot of stuff, right? Situation with your family, right? And how you were raised and how they told you that you were going to only be a housewife and that you shouldn't go to college because college is not for you. Now you cleared over 6 figures. Easy. You're going to clear 6 figures in the next 3 months of the year before you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've helped build that brand. And so it's like at one point in your life in this situation, you let that conversation drive you into being a negative person because that's all you're worth. But like, let's let you lead this conversation, which is a switch up because you didn't think I was going to do this to you. But like, you know, we have to because one, you're my co-hostess, but then two, it's like for me, I know what I'm going to say, but you're also on this podcast too.
Yeah.
So like for you, what was how was it? Like, first off, what did your life look like before you turned that negativity into positivity, right? That negative situation into power. And then what does your life look like now that you've turned that negative stuff into power? Like kind of share both sides.
So when I was in that dark place, like honestly, it was very dark. And I feel like everything was bad. Everything was like, if I'm driving, I'm going to get a freaking, go over a freaking pothole and bust a tire. Like everything that could go wrong seemed like would go wrong for me in that when I was in that mind frame, because I was like, how fucking dare you? But then at the same time, I wasn't doing anything to like change that reality to say like, oh, I'm going to prove you wrong or anything. But I'm just like, poor me, like how, like I don't have support, blah, blah, blah. And it was just shitty because then it would make me complacent also. Cause I'm like, well, you know, if I don't finish school, because at that time I thought you need school to be successful. With certain things you do, but in what I want to do in life, you didn't. But I was thinking, okay, well, if I don't go to school, then these are my options. So I'm just going to work at a warehouse, work my way up. Hopefully at some point I could be maybe a manager or supervisor of a department. And that is it until someone finds me valuable enough to marry me to then just
stay at home.
Be home.
Make homemade tortillas.
Hey, those are fire.
They are fire.
And then just...
Also, she doesn't make homemade tortillas.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
You didn't like them?
Yeah, but one time out of like 10 years.
Whatever.
Not good odds.
But yeah, so...
it's like you're tracking food. 1 out of 10 years. 1 day out of 10 years. 1 meal out of 50.
You know what people are going to see right now?
Mm-hmm.
You getting mollywopped.
At least we got it on camera.
But yeah, so that was... It was dark. Because then I was like, okay, well, in my mind, I didn't think what is the absolute bare minimum, but that's where I was going. Like, okay, so as long as I could keep a job to keep myself afloat until I get married and get filled with kids. Up. And then
get
my
filled
life
with kids?
just...
Wow.
Yeah, and then my life just becomes... No, like in my life.
I'm just
with
saying,
kids,
hey.
And
whoa.
I just live to serve.
Yeah. Well,
And,
you know what's interesting, right?
yeah.
It's just hearing you talking, like, obviously, let's, your family's my family. All right, so I'm going to watch what I say. But I'm just like it's just like we let these boundaries be set by people that built a ceiling on their own self.
Yeah.
Like it's like you could do what I did and you can't do any more than that. It's not like this like for me, I want my family and my friends and my family. I don't have friends anymore. I have family. Right. I want them to do what I did and then do it better. I want my clients to do what I did and do it sooner and do it better and do it faster and do it smarter. I want them to not make the same mistakes I did. So it's so interesting sometimes to be cut off by these people that just like don't have that mentality of like, hey, I stopped at this, but I shouldn't have. And here's where I messed up. So here, daughter, here, son, I want you to do better.
Well,
right?
I think I pioneered that.
Yeah. Well, you listen to it because you got to remember, by the way you're raised and who you surround yourself with growing up, we're like sponges. So what I seen was obesity and hard working. So I became obese and a hard worker.
Yeah.
I've always been a hard worker. Now, do I run circles now around the old version of myself at my heaviest? 100%.
Yeah.
But mentality, I'm still the same. I just have more discipline, and all the things I wanted to do back then, I've done now because I built the discipline, the structure, the foundation to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I've always been a hard worker, safe to say, for what it was.
Yeah, and in whatever era of your life you were as hardworking as you could be.
That's what I seen.
Moment. Yeah.
Right? That's what I seen. And growing up, I had a little bit of difference of upbringing. See, my mom made mistakes. And my mom said, I made the mistake so you don't have to. So I don't have time for you to mess up. So we had a little bit different upbringing. Also, too, I think it's a bit different because male and female, and then being Hispanics, that is a big factor in our upbringing. Like, like I'm supposed to take care of a woman and do manly things. And you're a woman that's supposed to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
How? Not saying I believe in that, people.
We joke about it, though.
Yeah, I do. She'll say that. Should I belong in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
But, we take like these things and then like it's just a different way of doing it. And so I'm not going to say that the weight loss helped me think this way, but I'm going to say that this weight loss allowed me to build that foundation to continue to think that way. Because for a while when I was doing the wrong things, everything was negative in my life, right? I constantly was, getting pissed off at people driving, but we would literally get flat tires every single month. Like our finances were horrible when we were fed something with a car.
Yeah.
We would argue over finances. We wouldn't have a saving. Like I could just go on and how bad we were living life. And people are like, oh, well, it's not bad. That's what you're doing. No, we were not making the right decisions.
Nope.
Right? We didn't have a savings, but we always had Korean barbecue. Like I wasn't joking. 3 times a week. This is not for podcasts.
And it wasn't, oh my God, one time when we were fat, we had it 3 times a week. No, it was constantly 3 times a week.
There's literally, it's still on Instagram how many times we went to Korean barbecue. They knew us by name. And it's not to talk about the pizza I order from Vape Escape every day. Anyways, crazy. A lot of money spent. Yeah. Right. But it didn't start, I didn't really start building the foundation until I started making the right decisions in life. Right. So obviously we all know that things don't happen to us, happen for us.
Right.
But when you're going through and you're not living life correctly, things happen to you. Because you can't see the positive lining for it. And so I think that when we turn this, what was the name of the actual title I text you?
Turn your pain into power.
Yeah. So when we go through this actual pain now, as we start making the right decisions, right? And I'm not talking about completely life change.
Right.
I'm talking about you were on the path. You had the thought process to do better, right? Mm-hmm. And you go through these trials and tribulations. There's 2 ways you could go, right? And how I look at it like this: for those who are watching video, you're gonna see my hands. For those that are not, I'm trying to explain as much as possible. It's kind of like being on a highway, right? On a 2-lane highway going the same way, right? 2 lanes going the same way. And one goes to the far right, one goes to the far left, and then they all come back together at the meeting point and it keeps going straight. Okay. Regardless of which way you take, you're going to end back at the situation being handled. Like, think about it. You've made it through every single bad day, a bad situation, stuff you didn't think you're going to make it through. You're here today, so therefore you made it, right? You made it through every single tough time. So if it goes straight, right, this is life, and then it goes into goes like one goes far right, one goes far left, and it meets in the middle. You're gonna make that situation you're going through it's gonna be fixed. Yeah. Regardless how you handle the situation, we're gonna get there. Yeah. So you go to the left, right? Negative. Why me? Life sucks. Everything's shitty. Blah 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 blah. You're so many bumps on this side, so many bumps and flat tires and just check engine lights and everything on this side. Right? Everything, because you chose to go that way. You choose to take the situation and let a negative thing just completely drive you into the ground. Mm-hmm. But after a couple of weeks, couple of months, you get over that situation and now it's on to the next.
Okay.
But it was a shitty couple months because of this situation. Or you go to this side, right? The right side. You know, we're like, damn, I'm just going to use the example of my father. Shit, he was murdered. This shit sucks. I don't know how to take it. I'm never going to see him again. I can never apologize if that's what I chose to do. My grandma's not going to be happy, blah, 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 blah. But because I'm on this right path, because I've started to make the right decision in my life, I knew that I was going to learn something from it. I didn't know what I was going to learn at the moment, but I knew that I believed that change your mindset and change your life. Mm-hmm. So I went there with a positive attitude. After crying, I'm a freaking human being. And I started to go and little things started to like make sense. Little things, you know, some closure. I got to be there for my grandma. I got to feel like a badass. I stepped on stage. I got to, you know, me and you got closer after the whole situation. Mm-hmm. A lot of different things. And then I got a couple of text messages, a couple of DMs from people, a couple of Zoom call conversations like, hey, because of your story, I talked to my dad. I haven't talked to him in 10 years. A couple of DMs that, hey, man, like, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. It made me want to reach out to my dad. I haven't seen him in 2 months. I'm like, okay, this is why I'm going through this. Yes, it's a reach. Yes, you're like, well, man, your dad had to be murdered for people to talk to their dad. If that was how I coped with it, I coped with it in a positive way compared to running to alcohol, drugs, and why me? Yeah. So by the time we got to this closing point, I was still on a weight loss journey. I was losing weight. I wasn't gaining weight. I wasn't in a negative headspace, and there was closure, right? You got 50 fucking years to life. So I could have got to the closure after just living a shit show of 6 months, or I got to a closure of feeling good and proud when it was closed, the book was closed, the chapter was done, I learned from it. Yeah. Now there were still bumps, like there was still healing on this side, but I didn't get...
But best foot forward.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Best foot forward, and I got to look at the positive. Like think about this, like if I went through that situation, I had a 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't be able to be there as much as I was for my grandma. We lived there for 3 months. When your grandma got sick, we were out there for almost 2 months. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So you have to turn this pain into power, because at the end of the day, life is going to give you pain. Yeah. There are people right now that are in abusive relationships, right? And then they're going to sit here and be so like alone and lost and feel like their whole life is taken from them. But when you overcome that stuff, when you sit there, you look back like you are a badass. And I bring that up because I have a couple people in my program that have been through that. I'm like, you don't understand how badass you are. Yeah. Right? And I want them to vision that. Now, if you're a male out there,
because males can go through it too, but hear it.
Well, no, they don't, because no one understands the hard work they put in because it's normal. Mm-hmm. Like people look at my story and like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you did it. I did it because I needed to. Yeah. And I don't understand how there's single moms and single dads out there that still pay my program. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like I'm like, holy crap, you think I'm cool? Like, mm-hmm. You're in my program. You have 2 kids. You're a single parent. You got this. You got this. You got to take them to jiu-jitsu. You got soccer, and like you think I'm a badass. I'm over here looking like you're a badass. Mm-hmm. You know. So we have to understand that it's the direction we're going is going to be a shit show. Yeah. But it's how we handle the situation is going to equal the outcome of how you feel when your chapter is closed in that book. Yeah. Right. So it's like, why turn your pain? Why double down on the pain when you could turn your pain into power?
When you just believe that no matter what, it's going to work out.
Even when you lie to yourself. Because sometimes you're in a situation where you're just like, I'm screwed. I'm not going to make it out of this. This is too hard. This is too difficult. Lie to yourself. Because there's nothing that you can't overcome. Right? There's nothing that you can't win. There's not a battle that you can't learn from. Like, how do you lose if you learn from something? Right? Because like we talked about this Zoom call I just had right now. Mm-hmm. Technically, we failed when it comes to our finances. We didn't hit our goal of being debt free by January.
On a technicality, for sure.
No, 100%.
I'm so proud of it.
100. Yeah, but that's what I was getting to. Yeah. We failed. But guess what? We're 40. I think as of right now, we're $4,500. I think, or maybe less now because we paid another. Whatever it was, we'll figure it out.
I think it's like 30.
I think it's like 3,800. But at the beginning of last year, we were 40,000. So, okay, oh no, I failed $3,800 in debt. The average human being, an average household is $50,000 in debt. That's crazy. No, I failed. Like, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like having that mentality of like, I didn't know how I was going to make those payments every single week. Things got rocky in the beginning of last year. Like, there was a lot that went on behind the scenes, but we kept doing it, and we missed some weeks of payments. Right. But it's not because we wanted to, it's just because that generally wasn't physically
for the month, but
yeah, for the week, because we paid every single week. But we did what we can do, and we worked extra hard. We overcame a lot of battles. We stayed consistent and moving forward the right direction. And we chose to be positive that, hey, even if we miss this goal, we still get to like, to like I told, I said like rollover minutes from your iPhone,
Oh,
for
yeah,
old cell
yeah.
phone.
I heard
you got to
that.
roll over the minutes to the next
Yeah.
month, right? That's all we had
Roll
to do.
over the debt.
But
And
yeah,
it's
but
so much
exactly.
less.
But it's so much less.
Yeah.
We're going in debt 3,800, not 40,000.
I think in a month we're done.
Like a month or two, yeah, we'll be done.
think-
I just need to stop buying shit. But it's understanding this though. It's that mindset. Yes, no. Yes. At the end of the day, we started, and I was terrified of being in debt. It was a very scary number to see when you see everything put together. And Yvonne says, "This is how much you owe, and this is how much interest you're giving a month."
And this
That
is your
stuff hurts.
overhead just to survive.
And this is what you
And
just
this
need
is
to.
blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, and you're like, holy crap! But you know what? I stayed positive. But the reason why I was positive is because I have a lot of micro wins that turned into
And
just
a game plan to tackle, right?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Because
I
as
had the wins.
overwhelming as a number sounded, like she was like, okay, well, you don't have room to play, but you are in a good position. Just do it. And I'm just like, whoa.
And guess what? There was no instant gratification. When you make a $500 payment to a $40,000 debt, you don't even see a dent. Like there's no like,
oh, it still looks
my
like 40.
gosh. Oh my
When will
gosh,
I
we're
see
almost
39?
closer. You know what I mean? Like it's still like,
Yeah.
39 and change, right? But guess what? It's that compounding interest of doing the right thing, right? It's knowing that, this is going to suck right now. We're in a shitstorm right now, but we're going to get to the end of it if we stay consistent on it.
Yeah.
And how are we going to handle the situation?
And the way I did, like, that pain of, like, what I was explaining to you, like, I also, like, now that I'm at my tender age of 35,
Damn.
I understand my parents, even though I don't agree with how they handled certain things, right? I understand that they are also just a girl and just a boy trying to survive with all kinds of kids, right? However, like how I turned it into my power is like, even though I understand you and I don't fault you anymore, you're not doing that to my siblings.
Oh, so that's where you got that power from.
My power is like, you better not. Like when I didn't get a quinceañera because, the funds weren't there. And my mom's like, hey, well, Viviana was going to be 15. She's like, oh, no, she's not getting one because I didn't give you one. And their financial situation was completely different. I said, you're not doing that to my sister.
Because you don't want to. And that's actually, that's a form of power because, like, I didn't get the best steak, but I want them to have it. That's actually cool. I never really thought about that way.
It's not like I didn't get one because they didn't want to. The funds weren't there. And even if it was the case that they did and they didn't want to, my sister or my siblings don't have to suffer because I suffer, so they have to suffer with me.
I like that.
And they know, and my parents know my siblings come before they do.
Oh yeah, no, you made that very clear.
Yeah,
painfully clear.
Like I advocate for that.
I like that. I like that power. See, I like how you took control of that, and like you didn't control your situation, you controlled someone else's situation, because that could control, like, maybe not having a quinceañera could really scar someone. I don't know. Like, I never really had one.
I wish I would have, but like it wasn't in the cards, and that's fine.
But the cool thing is, though, the wish that you have, you make sure your sisters don't have that wish because their financials are there, and they were like, oh, well, I didn't have it. You can't have his sisters. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they were so cool, like involving me.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't make it that one,
but
but I flew out there. I think I mentioned it somewhere.
Yeah.
But see, so my form of turning things into power looks a little bit different, right? And some people might say it's an ego thing, and I'm okay if you feel that way about me. I'm not here to change the way I think for you, but I'm also here to share my story. For me, it's like, tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it, right? So my power is doing things that I didn't think was capable because I set bars on my own self, but also things that people tell me I can't do, right? So when I find these situations and I find myself struggling in something, I think like at one point in my life, I didn't think I was capable of doing this. So shut up and let's win this. When I get a flat tire, if there's like right now, just tell you there's a big ass nail in a tire.
There is.
There's a big ass nail, and I seen it, and I looked at it. I was like, damn.
Those are like.
And it's walked away. I know they're brand new tires. I know there's a big ass, but it's at the very thick part to where it's not leaking air.
All
but
right.
just speaking about I was there. I looked at the detailer. The detailer did a good job, but I'm noticing because the truck's black that I'm noticing there's a lot of micro scratches, so it's stressing me out. So I need to get that truck wrapped. And I looked down because I remember the other day hearing like a little tap. Nothing crazy. It's just I heard it. Like you when you're a car guy, you hear these things.
Okay.
And I looked and I'll show you when we go down the gym right now. Like it's like a big ass thing, but it's at the biggest part of the tire, so it's not going to do any damage to it.
So do we remove it or we leave it?
I don't know. I got to take it to a tire shop and see what it is. But when I looked at it, I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I'm like, I just thought in my head, I'm not even joking. Like this is the first time I've ever even like been like this, like humble. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, thank God they didn't pop when we were driving with the trailer. And that's all I said. I walked away. I didn't think about the payment. I didn't think about the cost. I just like, it is what it is. And like,
Yeah.
that doesn't come because I'm some holier than now person.
Or because we have so much
It's
money.
just that I have, exactly. But it came from like, there's so much positive going on in my life. If I have to spend $600 on that tire or $500, whatever it is,
Fuck it.
we didn't crash, we didn't die, and we made it home safe with pulling a trailer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and that was like that was like where this first conversation stemmed of like having that podcast is like, because that was me. I've never like by myself been that positive.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm a positive person, but like for me to like, because you know, like
You were
when I see
never
something, it's like,
negative, outwardly negative.
no, but the first thought process, like, God damn, it's gonna cost
Yeah.
money. But I'm like, I'm so busy with taking on new clients, have a wait list. You're about to get your cert. Like, there's my family's healthy,
we
my
need to talk
niece
about
is
that in
healthy.
the next podcast.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about that. But I was like, why am I gonna be negative? And like, I've never to myself been so positive. So like, that's what kind of got this conversation. I was looking, like, that was a good one because, I could have changed the directory of that day. Directory. The directory. Like directory of what we're going. Right? Directory? Anyways, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Can you
in the middle
tell
of our
us our
podcast.
word?
Let it know the directory. No,
Trajectory?
Trajectory.
Trajectory.
I could have changed the trajectory of my day by me having a negative outlook on this tire costing me brand new tire, not even freaking, there's only 1,000 or 10,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And it's already has a big ass nail the size of, my future.
Yeah, but no, had it been before, it'd have been
I'd
like,
been
oh
pissed.
my God, our day is freaking ruined.
Yeah.
How could it happen
This sucks.
to us?
Or now I got to go and do this. And like,
and even like if it happened to me now, I'd be like, oh, damn, good thing I have AAA.
right. Yeah, true. Very true. Right. Another way to be
And
positive,
then I'd be
right?
like, okay.
So just remember that, you have to turn this power. I mean, sorry, you have to turn this negative situation into some type of power for you, right? It's a very powerful thing to turn a negative situation into a winning situation. And you're going to have to dig deep sometime, right? But stop letting yourself go through a difficult time and difficult situation and letting you turn it into an excuse of why you can't win or why me? At the end of the day, sometimes it's just difficult for people. I'm not going to lie. I've seen people really work hard and just don't make it as easy as some other people, right?
You
Or
had that
maybe
conversation with Yvonne.
yeah, she called me out on a couple things. We'll save that for when she's here.
Yeah.
But for some people, like, it's like you have to figure out, like, you need to really reverse engineer your day and see where are you working hard? Are you working hard? Are you putting your time and effort into something that's not working? Mm-hmm. Right? You have to really reverse engineer
trying
that.
to force it.
But the first thing is going to be is that when you go through the situation moving forward, change that mindset, turn that into power. Why? Okay, cool. You got a flat tire, but yet your bills are paid. Yes, you may have not got that raise you wanted, but it gives you opportunity to work even harder. Or maybe the door's not open, so you can find another door to open for you. Maybe it's time for you to leave that job. Yes, you're like, oh, well, it's easy for you to be positive when you got this and that. Remember, I didn't have this shit. I was also the person that was 600 pounds waiting for someone to throw up in my car so I can make extra money so I didn't have to drive Uber so I could sleep that night. Mm-hmm. I was also the person that was drinking pre-workout every single night to stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning to drive Uber and to make ends meet. I was also the person that had to sell my Xbox. I was also the person that just, took care of my grandpa, watched him die in front of me. I was also the person that had no more than $100 of my savings at all time. I was also the person that had a whole bunch of debt with credit cards, driving a car I couldn't afford. Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't pay attention to what I have now because you don't know what it took to build this. So 100%. Like, of course it's easy to be positive. I wasn't always positive. I started being positive 5 years ago. You're just looking at a polished
You started
piece of
being
shit.
positive about the little things that honestly made you earn this one, like where you're at right now. Like the small positive changes in your mind are what got you here, other than the work. But you could have put all the work in and still been a miserable fucking person.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been happy. But hear me out though. You, out of all people, right? People know who you are now. Mm-hmm. You were a very negative person. Mm-hmm. We would have a healthy, good relationship, and you would start watching those toxic ass fucking TikToks, and then you would want to pick drama in your life. When's the last time you've done something like that? Exactly. Doesn't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I'm not.
I don't remember. Well, I don't remember. So therefore.
Oh, there was a crock flung at you.
Oh yeah, but that was different.
Like mid last year. So like mid last year.
Yeah, mid last year. Yeah. But that was a deserved crock, right? The other time before that, you just were in too healthy relationship where it made you feel uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
So now that you're making the right decisions and you're happy, Francine is happy with who Francine is, right? Not done, not completed, but you're happy. Do you look for drama or do you look for peace? I
look for happiness.
Exactly.
I look to maintain my happiness because I genuinely answer. Now, like years ago, I couldn't say this. I was never happy. And now, like, I'm happy every day. I'm not happy all day, every day, but I am happy every day.
If you took a percentage of the day, you're like, you know what,
I'm happy.
I'm happy. That's it. And because why? Because you go through a situation and you figure out what you're going to learn from it. Yes, there's still shitty situations, but at the end of the day, you have to turn that negativity, you have to turn it into power. Empower yourself. Be proud of yourself. Figure out what you're going to learn from it. Figure out how to not to do this again. Figure out what you're going to do next time so you don't make history repeat itself or allow history to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Make sure you get out there and stop letting your negative thoughts destroy your positive future. Right? Get out there and focus on being empowered. And the only way you're going to be empowered is if you do things that are going to empower yourself. And that's the only way you can do that is if you do the right thing. That's it. Get out there, search for peace and happiness and not freaking drama and bullshit, and stop trying to impress other people who don't fucking got a
Stop watching Bad Girls
Stop
Club.
watching Bad Girls Club or whatever the other stuff it is. Right? And this is Modify Your Life Podcast. If you ever say something that you love, please share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment.
And I'm going to ask you to comment until you freaking do it, because you're not doing it.
And it's our job too, right? Yeah. If you're ever looking for a coach, htmcoaching.com. It's going to be heaventomodify.com. We just have to get our domain back done. So
I like HTM.
I like HTM. We're going to keep both of them. We'll keep both domains, right? But if you're looking for a coach, if I said something that, you know, you agree with, that you seem like I'm a down-to-earth person that wants to see you win, then obviously hop on my program. Let's go. Slots are open, filling up kind of fast.
But I'll give a disclaimer. If you're not really ready to put in the work, I'm going to tell you, please don't do it, because this man will badger you into fucking excellence. And I'm not like, oh my God, a sales tactic. No, he will annoy you into doing what you have to do. You told him already you wanted to do.
Like I said on the live the other day, I'm the only coach in the world that's going to say, don't join my program if you're looking for quick, easy, fast results, because you'll never get that with me, because there's no such thing. They don't go hand in hand.
This man will make you face yourself, and that is ridiculous. You're weird.
I am weird. But remember this, you're a badass, because instead of you listening to rap music, humping and fucking and sucking music, you're on the way to work, on the way to school, on the way to just wherever you're going right now, you're choosing to listen to something that's bettering, that's impacting your life in some type of positive way. And because of that, you have to be empowered right now. So if no one's told you today, you're a badass, get out there and win. This is Modify Your Life Podcast.
You're so cute.
Why did you? I was on a roll, and you just get
how to ruin it. It's because you're wearing cologne to the gym. That's pissing me off.
Yeah. Boy, look at guys. I'm gonna leave you
listen,
with this. It's for the guys.
No, listen
you
to this.
You lose a little bit of weight, and all of a sudden your girlfriend starts caring about the cologne you wear.
If you want to be real freaking toxic and a little hoochie daddy, I'm going to tell you the cologne you need to buy. It's called Bad Boy or Playboy by Moschino. It's like a little teddy bear, black teddy bear glass jar. Like a slut.
All the compliments. That cologne, gray sweatpants, no boxers. Thank you later. Peace.